Well, how do you envision it with AEW? How will they utilize them? And appreciate it, guys.
All right, thanks, South Beach Gary. Let's see if I can remember all that. Then we'll get to CM Punk and wrestling since we talked a little golf already. The first one was the 83 draft class. Here's what I would say to that. Gary, you might be right. It's a different era. But if we can at least have the conversation, wouldn't that be something cool? That's how good the class would be. If you even have the conversation, that's what kind of class we're talking about. And really, that's my point. I think it can be very good. As for the backup quarterback role, let's see. C.J. Beathard, you just read it, man. He's leading the preseason in quarterback rating. Guy's played very well. Apparently, he's played pretty good in practice as of late, too. He is no doubt pushing Gardner Minshew. That is not wrapped up. I think it will come down to this game to kind of say, all right, who's our backup guy? Who do we feel good about if we need to lean on somebody? And right now in the game situation, C.J. Beathard, it's been undeniable. I mean, he's been absolutely fantastic. And lastly, and I want to talk about this a little bit more in a bit, but Josh Lambo, I think, is starting and unfortunately starting to become a little bit of a story around here. Missed some more at practice yesterday. He's missed a kick in each game. He hasn't looked great in August. He's not Mr. Can't Miss right now, and he has been in a Jacksonville uniform. So this is not the Lambo we know, but it might be a bigger topic.
So am I supposed to answer the CM Punk question now?
You can answer any of the three if you want.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm not answering the CM Punk part.
No, I think where it stands right now, they will keep 3. I think it's just where you're at because you can't justify cutting C.J. Beathard after how good he's played. And do you really want to cut Minshew at that price tag? I say probably not.
I
think they still might try to ship him off eventually, but I think they keep 3. And then with Josh Lambo, yeah, you have to bring in competition. Right? Because it's not, what you did last season, which you didn't do that much, but 2 seasons ago, what you did then, it's what can you do for me now? And what we've seen from Josh Lambo so far, it hasn't been good. And, the kicking position is always a position where you can bring in guys, you try them out, and then you can just plug and play whenever you want. It's not like a cornerback or a defensive lineman where you have to teach them the scheme, the philosophy, all this. No, it's go kick the football between the uprights. So I definitely think that there's going to be some competition if Josh Lambo keeps having a shaky start here.
And what about CM Punk? It was a splash move last week. Now what?
Yeah, so the way you see the landscape now, professional wrestling shaking out, it's starting to make sense of what CM Punk's going to bring to the table. Now, he said it himself. He wants to help this young talent. He wants to help get the dream matches. But if you compare the 2 big ones, AEW and WWE, they're going in different directions right now. WWE just made an announcement saying that they're not going to sign any more independent wrestlers. That means they're not going to sign any guys from the house shows, right? They're going to bring them through their system and go that route, which means it's more cookie cutter. It's like there's a look that they're looking for. It's not necessarily you're outside the box thinking. It's more just traditional wrestlers. AEW, on the other hand, when you have guys like Darby Allin, who's like a skateboarder, and maybe not the biggest guy, but he's obviously the next biggest star in AEW, it seems like sometimes. That's what they're going to do. They're going to go outside the box and bring in independent wrestlers, and CM Punk's job is going to be to help get these wrestlers on a new plane and a new level. You heard him when he called out guys like Darby Allin. He called out guys like Jungle Boy. These are guys that are fresh to the scene right now. They're young, and then they're trying to grow that talent. WWE, your young talent, is kind of getting lost behind people like, Becky Lynch now, people like Brock Lesnar now. So it's 2 different tastes of what wrestlers should be, I guess, in terms of promotion.
Tough encore this week for the wrestling world, huh?
I mean, you got Brock Lesnar making a debut tonight at SmackDown. So, okay. And he's also he's a face now. He's not a bad guy, so that'll be interesting.
Because he came out. That came back. That was introduced last week, though, right?
Yeah, that was the last second thing too. That they threw a change up there. I think it had to do with CM Punk. Yeah, they brought Brock Lesnar back.
It is interesting to watch. Even me, a novice at all this stuff, just watching from the outside, the back and forth.
Now,
right?
He has a ponytail, and no one's gonna tell Brock Lesnar, well, don't have that ponytail. I mean. Who's going to be the barber and say, you sure you want a ponytail? No. If Brock Lesnar wants a ponytail, get that dude a ponytail.
Across all the both things, who's the top wrestler right now?
In the world? Wrestler? Oh, man. I mean, I think I love AEW, but Roman Reigns is kind of he's in a new stratosphere. I think Kenny Omega is up there as well, but it can go back and forth. Okay. I mean, obviously CM Punk now is causing the most ratings.
But Reigns before the latest event.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go get myself... well, I won't. Forget it.
Okay.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN.
You got it.
Sports figure,
Yeah.
doll thing. What are those things called?
Funko Pop? Try to get a Funko Pop?
I don't know. We'll be back.
Galaxy Builders, they're out of this world. Galaxy Builders, they're out of this world.
Galaxy Builders is hiring qualified roof repair technicians. Roof repair technicians receive a $5,000 signing bonus and base salary starting at $52,000 a year with paid holidays and 401k plan. Galaxy Builders will provide a company truck with all necessary tools and materials. Experienced roof repair technicians can fill out the Contact Us form at galaxyfla.com to schedule an interview.
Hi, Steve. Have a seat. I just wanted to see how your meeting with Chardonnay went.
Chardonnay?
According to your peak push-to-talk device, you were with Chardonnay or Porsche or Bambi.
Oh, Bambi, right.
I clicked boop to talk, and I was talking, but you weren't booping.
I can explain.
Love these little things. I know exactly where my people are anytime I need them. Boop.
I was in a boopin' meeting. We got the contract to build the champagne room at the Jiggle and Wiggle Gentlemen's Club.
You have glitter all over your face.
Find your people with a boop. BoopToTalk.com.
Boop.
Are you a recent high school graduate who hasn't made up their mind about what they want to do for their career? Or possibly you're already working, but you're stuck in a dead-end job? If so, then I'm here to tell you about JTech. JTech is a local school that offers hands-on essential career training. Have you heard about the massive increase in online ordering since the pandemic started? That means that more people are needed who can service diesel trucks. Diesel technology is an important part of the transportation industry, and qualified diesel technicians play a huge role in keeping that industry moving. At JTech, they're helping to meet the demand for skilled diesel technicians by offering a 91 credit hour ASE-based diesel technology program. This program is going to help you give you the hands-on skills and confidence needed to launch a successful career in diesel technology. To learn more about JTech, visit jtech.org or call them at 904-483-9460. Ask for Hank to set up an appointment to tour the campus or get your questions answered. That's 904-483-9460. Or visit jtech.org.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Seems like a no-brainer to me. If you install it, you ought to be able to service it. But for gas-fired water heaters, there are a whole lot of plumbing companies that can't and won't service them, even though they're happy to install them. Now, just think about that. They don't have the expertise to work with gas, but they're installing a gas unit. Does that seem like a good idea to you? Seems like a recipe for turd buckets to me. You might as well have Acme parachute that water heater in and have the Coyote install it. At Griffin Service, not only are we the same-day water heater specialists, we're also the gas-fired water heater kings. And that goes for both tank and tankless units. And naturally, we're certified to service and install them, because we fix what others can't. Plus, we have water heaters in stock and ready to roll same day. So if your gas water heater needs service or replacement, or you're thinking of switching to a gas-fired water heater, it's kind of a no-brainer on who you should call, isn't it?
GriffinService.com.
Goodyear believes in the power of moving forward. No matter if it's on the track, the court, or the field, movement makes us want to be more. It pushes us to go further, to show the world what we can do. Movement has the unique ability to change our perspective, to challenge us, to work for a better tomorrow. Movement can even bring us together when we're still, because if we're focused on the next move, we don't have to worry about what's behind us. Goodyear, more driven.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Now Jake's in a position where he's fighting somebody real. And if he can find a way to get past me, everybody, including myself, is going to have to put some respect in me.
I love it.
Couldn't resist, could we?
I love it.
We couldn't resist, could we?
Well,
just when I try to class up this station.
With a little CM Punk.
That's class.
It is class.
Just when I try to class up the station a little bit, and talk about the hard-hitting sports, the game-changing sports. And then we got to go to the sideshow. Got to go to the circus. Got to go to Jake Paul versus Tyrone Woodley.
Does Jake Paul fight every 10 days?
Seems like it, huh?
Or is it just because there are two Pauls?
Well, that's
what
a
it
good
is.
call. Yeah, because Logan Paul fought Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah. So it's,
they fought, choreographed.
Dance.
Scrap. Yeah.
You know what's crazy about them, though, is I know they're just flexing on the gram, but they fly on I think they have a jet between the two brothers.
Oh no, they're loaded.
Isn't that insane?
They are loaded, sir. Yeah.
I know you're 33, but maybe you should get on TikTok like they have, and maybe you get a jet because you fight. I mean, it's a similar story.
No, I mean I get where you're going here. Now, when people mention Logan Paul and Jake Paul in the sentence, is it positive or negative? Usually, Casey.
That'd be negative.
I don't want to be that guy.
But aren't they negative just out of jealousy? Because you're I can't believe these guys are YouTube guys and TikTok guys, and they're flying around in a private jet. Aren't we all kind of what? Are you serious? We try to work hard for a living.
Yeah.
And
there's that. There's the fact that they're just, they're the biggest. Well, you could say they're the biggest names in boxing. I mean, I won't say it, but some people want to say that. And they haven't paid their dues. They got the opportunity because of their fame. It's take the Tim Tebow effect where he got the opportunity because he knew Urban Meyer, and then go ahead and multiply that because, you didn't really know anybody. You just have a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
I think they could start a new form of boxing. Doubles boxing. You got the two brothers.
2-on-2?
2-on-2. You just hit anybody that's not on your team.
I've seen 5-on-5 MMA fights, which is interesting.
Really?
By the way, yeah.
In the same size cage?
It might be a bigger cage, or it's maybe a gymnasium. But yeah, I've seen 5-on-5 fights, and dude, it's insane. Because
I wouldn't even know what to watch.
Well, but think about it though. I mean, it gets to the point where it's one guy versus 2 or 3 people, and it's insane. The guy just you're curling up and you're getting the crap kicked out of you.
Oh, so you can do that. So it can be multiple guys on one person.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, it's got to be.
You pack the biggest guy first.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'll be honest. In terms of strategy, I didn't really see much. Just swing till you die is what I saw.
Okay, so I didn't read this, but this is why I brought it up. Jake Paul wants you to read this.
Okay, read it then.
No, I'm not reading it. I'm just saying.
But you brought it up.
Well, but it's on the
mission accomplished.
It's on the front page of ESPN.
I know.
So, how much of this is that you like the fighting world, you're genuine fight guy, traditionalist, all that stuff, and you don't like how these guys have come in? But how much of this is? I mean, if ESPN's doing cover stories on Jake Paul, is he really a story?
He's definitely a story. Now, let me start off by saying this. I think Jake Paul's, he's the heel. We all hate him, right? But he's actually, I do. I don't know. Maybe people love him, whatever. But, he is the heel. But he is doing more good than bad in terms of trying to help fighters out. There was I forgot who the lady was, but there was a girl in the UFC who had a GoFundMe account because that's where she's at right now with the UFC. So she had a GoFundMe account to try to, get through her training camp because it costs money, obviously, and times are tough. Well, Jake Paul shared that. He put money for us, donated money to her, and now she's fine. So, Jake Paul is always trying to say, hey, these guys are putting their lives on the line. They need to be compensated more. So, he's a great ambassador to have in that circle where it's you have a guy that came out of nowhere. He's got, 3 professional boxing fights. He's making all this money, but he's also bringing image and publicity to the fact that, hey, some of these fighters aren't making a lot of money. So I respect Jake Paul for that. What I don't respect, though, and this is more of the Tim Tebow effect once again, I could give whatever about Jake Paul. It's how people are perceiving Jake Paul and like how we are treating Jake Paul. Like he's the next big thing in boxing. Well, I mean, he very well might be. He's on his 3rd or 4th fight, so who really cares? Let's see where he has in 10 or 20 fights. But like when the higher-ups of every major conglomerate of a sports media franchise feel the need to go there in person and interview Jake Paul and, controversy, Tyron Woodley's mom's going after Jake Paul. So you're like, that's a circus. Okay? We don't need to do that. That's where I fall on.
Okay, so yeah, and I get it. I mean, the thing about it is, so it's more about the aura around it, the noise around it, the everything around it than it is.
It's the Tim Tebow effect.
He's doing okay things with his platform.
Sure,
he's got an opportunity, and he did whatever he wanted. What I'm saying is, if you had all this money, why would you go to box? Like, if you could buy yourself into a sport, per se, right? And that's essentially what he's done.
Yeah.
Why would you buy yourself into a boxing ring?
Because you guys think about it. If you buy yourself into a team sport, you're never going to know how well you're doing. I mean, you're going to know because if you make the team or not. That's hard. In the fight game, it's all about pay-per-view buys.
Yeah.
It's all about the money that you acquire, right? So if you look at the pay-per-view buys, I'm not sure what they are, but I assume they're doing pretty well. I mean, he's signed to Showtime now. Showtime liked it.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why he chose the fight
to your
game.
point, he might be the biggest name in boxing right now. I mean, you don't think so, but some people might.
No, I think a lot of people would.
I could buy myself into getting a chance with the Red Sox affiliate in Lowell, but I probably won't be the biggest thing in baseball.
Go online. Everyone's talking about Jake Paul. I mean, did we see the Manny Pacquiao press conference? What happened there? I don't know. You know, I didn't hear anything. Did he say something crazy? I don't know. But we saw the Jake Paul press conference. We saw Tyron Woodley's mom saying something. And then, so that's where we're at right now. I don't want to hate on the guy too much, Brent, because you know how I feel about it. Like I feel like if you're good enough, you're always going to get seen. You're in your spot regardless of any sport. So it's not like I feel like he's taking someone's spot or like he's jumping his way up and he's like cutting the line. I mean, I don't care about that. Eventually it'll catch up to you. It's just how we perceive this whole thing.
Let's be honest. Like, I don't pay attention to any of the Jake Paul stuff. Like until whenever we would talk about it on the show, until it's being force-fed to me, I couldn't tell you that he owned a jet. I couldn't tell you that he was a YouTube star. I couldn't tell you. I don't if two rats, you know what, about Jake Paul. But here we are talking about him. And that's what you're almost annoyed with. Like, that's what you get annoyed. The idea that he's being shoved down our throat a little bit.
And to me, like, I don't think he's for me. I don't think he's for you either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the reason why I don't care is because literally I really don't care about this fight is because, I'm not emotional about Jake Paul. Like, it sounds emotional sometimes.
It doesn't feel boxing.
But I'm not tied to him. Like, I've never seen his YouTube videos. I guess he's a rapper. I've never seen him rap before. I don't care about his tattoos or anything. Like, I don't know what he does. I don't know who he really is. And I don't need to take the time to learn how he is because that costs energy. And I'm all set. 33 years old. Don't need to go on your TikTok.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
He's just not for me.
Here's a nice life lesson that I do need to get a TikTok to piggyback off
once again.
Yesterday's conversation.
I mean, it seems like this is the trend on the show. We got to get a TikTok.
This is always what I've always said this. I think the way to make money is a weird way to, if you have no shame and you want to sell out, or if you want to, there's ways to make money is the point if you have like no shame, right?
Oh, of course, man. So shout out to OnlyFans.
And then you got to.
If only there was a market for me on OnlyFans.
And I say God bless him.
I bet there is. Hey, you'd be surprised, man. I mean, I've never been on it, but I hear things.
I'd say God bless him.
Yeah.
What could you buy your like, that's a weird thing to say, right? Like, he's bought his way into opportunity with boxing. Mm-hmm. Like, Tim Tebow has a ton of money, but he didn't buy his way into the opportunity with the Jags, quite frankly. I know he knew Urban.
Yeah.
That was
because
different.
at the end of the day, football is not an entertainment. I mean, it's there's an entertainment factor, but entertainment, it doesn't matter. You know, like boxing it's like 50% skill, 50% entertainment sometimes.
Yeah, I couldn't buy myself seriously into a tryout with the Lowell Spinners, in the Red Sox.
Okay, I got you.
Organization.
Baseball
like
team.
if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But I don't, like, are there sports you could seriously, I mean, MMA and boxing, you could kind of create a path for yourself.
Definitely.
Like the wrestling world, I don't know.
He's already been on WWE.
Yeah, he's been, has he or his brother?
I don't know.
Well,
one of the
be
Pauls.
honest. I mean, and I don't want to say this in a negative light. He's doing
maybe
a great job with it. I mean, this is just like an investment in a business venture. But Tony Khan, not everybody can go start their own wrestling outfit.
True.
I mean, Tony Khan did that. So that's what I'm saying.
Well,
It's like, if you could.
I mean, he had some. His dad helped him.
Well, yeah,
he had money to.
Yeah, he had the money to do it.
Yeah,
So,
but he had the vision.
he had the vision, had the money, had all this stuff. I mean, these guys have found success. So my point is, like, what could you if you had just oodles of money?
Okay.
Like, what could you buy yourself in the sports realm?
Oh man.
You know, to be like, hey, I want to go do this, and now I'm going to be able to do this because I got a load of money.
I'm just trying to get over the fact you said oodles. I haven't heard oodles in a while. I think my grandma said oodles back when I was like 5 one time.
I like when a word like that pops out.
No,
once in a while.
I love it. Oodles. Oodles and boodles.
I'm thinking golf. I don't know how yet.
Well, what's the
J.R. Smith?
J.R. Smith, yeah.
Okay, so then, yeah.
That's a good call.
That's
though.
a
You
good
could do
call.
it. You know why? Because in golf, if you really wanted to dedicate yourself to golf, you could probably get the right people, the right equipment, the right
call.
everything, and get, if you're a decent athlete or whatever, you could probably get good enough if you spend enough time doing it to maybe give yourself a chance. I don't know. I mean, you still have to get good enough.
But this is the thing with Jake Paul, too. Like, after his last fight, he's just like, I just want to show everybody that, you know, if you follow your dream, you can be just like me. Like, well, hey, man, we all don't have $1 million to spend on training. Like, some of us have to work.
Don't
and we have
talk
to go
to me like I can be like you. Because I can't unless I win the Powerball.
I'm not rocking a $500,000 chain right now like you are, sir.
I mean, cryptocurrency really has to take off even more than it is, okay?
I know this wasn't the answer you're looking for, but you buy yourself into e-gaming, e-sports.
Well, you can do
definitely.
that.
Bowling.
Yeah.
Bowling.
Can you do bowling? You're still going to be able to bowl.
Throw it straight.
You put the bumpers up if you have to.
Bowling.
Good bowlers don't throw it straight.
So, hey, there's that one dude, and I don't know his name, but he throws two-handed to the side. I know Stuart knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he probably does.
Yeah.
I guess outside of, you really just could do it from an ownership and a investment kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, in our industry, it's like, hey, if I had $1 gazillion and I really just wanted to do something, I could buy my own radio station and be on the radio.
Is that what you would do? If you had $1 million and you don't want to play a sport, what would you do?
Good question.
Yeah.
Needs a good answer.
First of all, $1 million's not enough for all this stuff.
I mean,
okay?
I'm sure you got a couple of those already. So maybe like $1 billion, we'll say.
If you had the Paul brothers bank accounts, what would you do?
I've told you this before. I would stay doing what I'm doing, but I would buy that building across the street, and it'd be one hell of a sports office.
Nice.
I would. You think the performance center that Urban and the Jags are building is nice?
Brent,
you guys would really like what I'm about to build across the street right over here, or in this back parking lot.
An office, though, huh?
Oh, it's not an office.
I mean, but you just say it's sport. It's like, yeah,
it's like an amusement
You should see the chairs that we're gonna have in there and the computers. Like, and you'd be
golf simulator.
Hey,
I'm imagining.
You think you know what desks are until you come to our sports office and see what kind of desks we're like. Who thinks like that, man?
I don't need an office. You just think, not like you, but just think there's going to be a little catwalk going across, and then you can go get your workouts in right after the show. You don't even have to go anywhere else. You bring the MMA training to you.
We're still working?
Oh, yeah, you can still work, man.
We got Paul Brothers money.
This is fun.
Can we get a plane, though?
Listen, that's my whole point. He's got a ton of money, and the guy's getting hit in the face for a living.
Brent wants to take Jake Paul money and just improve his career that he already has.
He wants to build the fantasy factory, but then still work.
And then still work
all
in
the time.
Yeah, there's no fantasy
all the time. Now listen, I'd be hiring some people to do some other things.
I'd hope so. And then you'd be probably charging subscription based, so it's gotta be like, you gotta pay $1 to check out this content.
I don't want to give you the whole plan.
Okay.
Next thing you know, my key card doesn't work to the fantasy factory.
You think someone's gonna steal your plan? You think people's aspirations are to build? If I had $1 billion, I'd build a sweet office. No one's thinking like that.
That's fine.
I'm starting a media conglomerate. I'm doing movies. I'm doing radio. I'm doing everything. Making art.
There you go.
Yeah,
I can help you.
We'll see. We'll see.
I'm investing.
You just stay in your office, and I'll do my thing.
I'm investing.
Yeah.
You're investing. I'm investing in you. You can run the damn thing. I don't want anything to do with movies.
Don't put me in charge. No, I'm gonna hire somebody for that, please. Thank you.
It's a funny thing you asked that question, right?
Should we go to the moon?
No desire.
Really?
But that's
Come on, man.
You'd have desire to go to the moon?
Action Sports Jax from the moon?
Oh, that'd be pretty
Can
cool.
you imagine the live shot, Brent?
Yeah.
That would be pretty good.
Be cutting out. The internet would be working, but yeah.
By the way, I'd get better internet.
Have $1 billion internet still going out for some reason. Yeah.
I seriously do think about that once in a while, right? Everybody thinks like, what would they do if they win the lottery?
Mm-hmm.
But it hit me the other day. I think it was Bezos was on something, and Elon Musk, of course, is doing there. Like, how did we end up with like these two rich guys trying to fly out of outer space?
boredom.
Like but that's a great point, right? It's
they're
bored.
bored. Yeah.
Like sooner or later, you have so much money, you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure. Listen, they have plans and reasons why, but isn't one of the oddest things in the world that you've got two super rich guys that are just trying to get to
it's
Mars
three because it's the guy from Virgin too. What's that dude's
Oh
name?
yeah, that guy
it's three.
too.
Yeah,
that's Bronson, right?
Yeah, Richard Bronson.
Richard
I think.
Bronson. Yeah.
Yeah, it's baffling to me because, and I don't want to tell anybody how to spend their billions of dollars.
Like, it's a weird thing.
One would think like, hey, like you have $1 billion. Like obviously people helped you along the way. How about like we give back and maybe help the communities
well, they
out?
do that too.
Yeah, but then it's like, okay, yeah, we'll help the homeless over here, and then let's go to the moon.
I don't know, man.
$1 billion on the moon.
But listen,
for what?
You guys are laughing at me because I want to put a roller coaster in my office across the building.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, if you had asked me this question 15 years ago and I said, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to build my own rocket and go to the moon.
Yeah,
you'd be like, what the hell are you talking about?
But no,
why would you do that?
But at the end of the day, though, and I don't agree with it. I don't agree with spending that much money to go to the moon. Like, who cares? But it's kind of baller. Like, I mean, it's...
Well, it is. I mean, there's only 3 people that can say they can do it.
Exactly. So people have offices, Brent. All right? I mean, people have been to the moon.
this one.
Okay? I mean, I got to see some mock-ups here then or something. Because
I'll get you some renderings.
Okay, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Are we going to vote on like Lot J?
Yes.
Is someone going to approve that land over there? You good to go?
Yeah, I probably need that.
You better do your due diligence.
I'm buying off everybody.
See, now you have to get political with it. You don't want to go down this road, man. Just go to the moon. No. Hey, you know what the cool thing about the moon? No politics. It's just the moon.
It's just the moon.
Just the moon, man. No politics on the moon.
I do think forget about the millions and billions of dollars.
Yeah.
I've been asking this question of people lately just for fun.
Okay.
What would you do with $1 million?
Honestly?
Because, listen, $1 million is a lot of money. If I gave you a lot of money. But it's not like, if I gave a 22-year-old $1 million, they'd think they were like, oh, my God, I'm a millionaire. Well, that's not true. Right? I mean, it's not true. Like, you got to live for 70. Go do the math on that, okay? Like, it doesn't add up. So I've been kind of like curiously asking, not that it's coming my way, but maybe I'm just planning for a crypto explosion.
I feel like we've been planning for that for a while now, but go on.
It's only been a few months.
Okay.
Maybe 10 years down the road.
All right.
So
what would I do with $1 million? Is that what you're asking?
I mean, most people would pay off their debt, right?
Sure. Well, I mean, I just got a credit card, so I'm fine there.
Excuse me.
Yeah, well, I don't have a lot of debt, man. I don't know.
Want to get a new helmet?
Maybe. I do need one because the thing's not fit me quite right. No, it's kind of going back to what my goal was after I retired from the NFL, because I had it kind of planned out before I got married and had a kid, where I was going to go to Tahoe, buy a shack, and just live in the woods and go offline and just see ya.
So you could do that?
Yeah. I feel like if I had $1 million, I would probably do. I mean, I would have to talk my wife into it, which wouldn't be the easiest thing.
Probably not.
And my son, like, hey, bud, you say goodbye to your friends. We're going to the woods. Like, that's not going to be an easy conversation.
Things have changed.
Yeah, I know. So things have changed now. But
by the way, that shack might be even smaller because you have to pay off med school.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good point as well. So. Yeah, if I had it my way, though, yeah, I'd rather be in a shack in the middle of the woods and just be a snowboard bum the rest of my life. Well, at least for a year.
Submarine Mike actually brings up a good one. He said drivers with sponsors put themselves into races all the time for decades now in NASCAR. You could go. That's it.
NASCAR.
Hey, by the way, how about just our
Should
show
we sponsor
logo
a car? Yeah, now we're talking.
On Denny Hamlin's car.
Now we're talking.
That'd be pretty good waste of money right there.
How much do you think it's going to cost?
I don't know how much that would cost. Probably not as much as you think.
Danny Hamlin's good, though. So it might be more.
Yeah.
You know what we have to do?
Sign a long-term deal.
Yeah.
Well, or we have to get, like, I don't know, one of, like, the worst drivers, but then, like, he has to fight somebody after, like, the race.
Well, not only that, but he's most likely going to crash, so that gets some attention, and
that's
now my face
saying.
looks all wrinkled up on the hood.
I like it. All right, I'm going to Google that
Why
right
does
now.
Brent only have one eye? Because I ended up in the turn 4 wall.
Are we talking
the rest
like
of your
the
eye
NASCAR?
will be smeared across the wall.
Are we talking like the heavy hitters in NASCAR?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, that's
All right, I'm
you got to
looking
go
it up right
heavy
now.
hitters. You either got to get the victory guys or the crash guys.
I think we want Kyle Larson. He wins a lot, but there is like a backstory there, so I'm not sure if we want that.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. That's it's tentative on the image.
So the most expensive spots reserved for primary sponsors on a NASCAR are $35 million per year.
Holy crap.
35 million?
The most expensive spots are reserved for the primary sponsor and cost a cool $35 million per year, according to howmuchdoesitcost.com. These spots include the hood of the car, rear quarter panel, deck lid, TV panel, and the roof panel.
$35 million.
You feeling good about that now?
Well, I got to get some change to just waste. That's what I was telling you.
You feeling good about that now?
How about a one-off race? Sorry.
Yeah. $1 million might get us inside the hood for I don't know, a cylinder. You're never going to see it unless the whole engine explodes.
Hey, we have $50,000. Can we get inside the gas cap?
And then you just got to pray to the NASCAR guys that they get an accident and the gas cap goes flying.
Or they have trouble
and you're
on pit
watching
road.
it in 24K or whatever the highest definition is. Yeah.
What to do with your money?
Man.
I'll spend it for you.
And
That's insane.
I didn't see Jake Paul in this rundown today, by the way. So is this okay?
Yeah, it's kind of threw that
The
in.
rundown was very subpar today. I just want to say.
And that's why we just spent time talking about Jake Paul.
Appreciate you all. Hopefully,
I knew it would get you going.
Hopefully he wins.
Would
and
you
can keep
rather
on
talk
doing
about
it.
Jake Paul or golf?
If my golfer's winning, then golf. But probably Jake Paul. And by the way, it's interesting. We should break down the fight real quick. Interesting fight. Tyrone Woodley, former UFC champion.
I thought we weren't supposed to do this. Not giving it time of day.
All right.
Who wins?
we broke down everything else besides the fight, though.
Yeah, it's kind of the why.
Okay.
Who wins?
I gotta take Tyrone Woodley. I hope. I'm taking Woodley. Yeah. This is more to hope.
You're picking with
Speaking
your heart.
to existence.
You know, Jake Paul's minus 190.
I know. For some reason, the odds.
They know where the money's going.
But the odds after the press conference, they shot up by he was 120, and now he's 190 or whatever it is after the press conference.
For somebody who doesn't care about Jake Paul, he knows a hell of a lot about this fight.
It's the trending. Just go open a book and open an app, and you see it there.
I did. I opened ESPN on the front page.
Open a book, too. Open a MacBook. There you go.
There you go.
That's what I meant.
Very good. Very good. Hey, some not so great news about A.J. Cann. Trevor Lawrence is, going to have the backups blocking for him. How do you feel about that? That's on the way. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Tracking a few showers through the day, moving inland with time, a rumble of thunder as well, but a lot of dry times too. Highs will be in the upper 80s to near 90, mid-80s at the coast. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where for a limited time, get 0% financing for 5 years, only at Beard's Diamonds.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Are you curious about marijuana? Florida A&M University established the Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, also known as MARY, to educate the public about medical marijuana use as well as the detrimental health and social impacts of unlawful marijuana use on local communities. Find out more at mmeri.famu.edu.
I love football and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Mortno. We are a lot alike, right? You love football and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, french fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, french fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts. Jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper. So many flavors to choose from. And, of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wing Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wing Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax.
I've been asked, did you plan on becoming the largest injury law firm in the world? And the answer is no. We set out to be focused on our clients and to have a commitment to trying cases and winning. And when you have those results at trial, you're able to settle most of your cases quickly and fairly. Hard work and client satisfaction was our plan. It worked. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
At Tire Outlet, we're committed to providing our customers with professional and honest automotive recommendations. Don't believe us? Check out our reviews online and see why we're Jacksonville's preferred automotive shop.
Great guys to work with, always very helpful and affordable.
With 12 locations across Northeast Florida, Tire Outlet can help keep you and your family safe on the road, wherever you are.
Wholesale prices, premium service, Tire Outlet.
If you're anything like me, then cars were an important part of your childhood growing up. Literally, some of my very first memories involved helping my grandpa build old cars. If you're into cars, then you know that the technology is always evolving, which is why there is a demand for well-trained automotive technicians. As a student in the automotive technology program at JTech, you'll be learning basic automotive maintenance, diagnostic procedures, and effective repair methods while using testing equipment and specialized tools. The program also includes training on electrical, HVAC, engine performance, suspension, steering, brake systems, and transmission diagnosis and repair. Their shop settings are designed to represent the actual automotive environments that you will be experiencing when you get into the automotive industry. To learn more about JTech, visit jtech.org or call them at 904-483-9460. Ask for Hank to set up an appointment to tour the campus or get your questions answered. That's 904-483-9460 or visit jtech.org.
Here in the Sunshine State, more than 3 million men are over age 45, and over half suffer from ED or PE. Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Brown. If you're having problems in the bedroom and pills like Viagra have let you down, you'll see results at Prime Men's Medical Center, guaranteed, or your exam is free. And it's affordable.
Call 904-664-8217. Guaranteed results on your first visit or your exam is free. Call 904-664-8217.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity. The future of college football is now, and our primary goal is to position the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl and Jacksonville to be prepared for a potential college football expansion. And we need you, our local business leaders, to join our team and showcase that Jacksonville supports college football. Gator Bowl Sports has opportunities for all companies, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. I would love to meet you and talk about our future. If you'd like to learn more, contact me at 904-798-1700.
Hey, it's Brett Mortno from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
I think when you look at his coverage ability, he's really good staying with the man. Almost like sometimes he covers him too well, but and I say that jokingly, coverage ability, and then the ability in not even a split millisecond, you got to turn and make that play. That's where he has to get better, and our coaches are doing a good job, Tim and Joe, making sure he's in those positions during the week to be able to do that as we move forward.
That's Joe Cullen, Jaguars defensive coordinator. I'm not sure we'll see too much from this defense on Sunday. I think the defense is pretty much, hey, let's get to the regular season now. They see him stop the run. You know, they do like the secondary more than what people would see coming out of that Saints game. You know, my problem with the secondary, Austin, was less the 2 big touchdown plays, but more some of the kind of easy plays. I think I said that to you. Just like, hey, 12 yards, boom, in, easy. Right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was you or, heck, talk so much about Jags, but they've tackled well. Mm-hmm. You know, they really, that's one good thing, right? I think, you know, when I ask you, like, hey, give me some sunshine and rainbow stuff that might carry over, if you're tackling pretty well in the preseason, that's a good thing because we've seen tackle problems around here. And in the preseason, tackling can be a problem because you really don't do it that much.
No, for sure.
So that's a good sign. The Jags, again, from a discipline standpoint, they haven't been out of control. From a tackling standpoint, been pretty good. Stopping the run, been pretty good, if you look at these couple of weeks. Well, I do think inside the building, they have more promise and hope about their secondary and what they have, even though you saw them give up plays to Jameis Winston. It was 9 and 10, and that time, 9 of 10, the passing yards have been up there. It's looked kind of easy. They got to go make the play now, but I think they have – that's not a major concern inside the building. I think they'll be okay in the secondary. Those guys will contend more passes. They'll break up passes. They'll make some plays. Of all the problems maybe of the preseason that fans are seeing, and that was a big one coming out on Monday night. I don't know if inside the building they agree as much. You gonna make it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, so when we talk about Kathy Stay, we talk about really fresh and succulent fish, and sometimes it gets caught in your throat. You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening right now. It's almost too fresh.
We went from the secondary to salmon in a hurry.
It's almost too fresh. No, but Yeah, I get what you're saying here in terms of they're not as worried about it, right? I think once you get full strength on your defensive line in terms of your edge rushers, that'll make a difference. You know, I think Josh Allen on the field obviously makes a difference playing complementary football. At the same time, though, when we talk about going man-to-man, I mean, what we've seen them do in the preseason in terms of coverage, you're going to see in the regular season as well.
Yeah.
And it hasn't looked the best. So that's where I think you have to be a little worried about it, and hopefully you can clean some things up. And it's more technique stuff than anything.
Yeah.
Right? Like we've seen Tyson Campbell for 2 weeks in a row just get discombobulated and kind of lose sense of where the football is. Well, that's coaching. We know he's got all the athleticism and all the technique in the world and all the skill set. We get that. But now we got to coach him how to play that ball in there a lot better.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what they look like in the secondary. Of course, a lot of that will be some pressure, too. And they're going to bring pressure, and they're going to put those guys on the islands. And listen, in fairness, some of the people that have problems with this are like, well, they're not going against Odell Beckham Jr.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going against Michael Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're going against third string, sometimes fourth string guys, and they're still giving up plays.
Yeah.
I just sometimes wonder, in that is the gap as big as we think? I mean, it doesn't make you a bad player just because you're a third receiver instead of the first. Now, I understand Michael Thomas is better than everybody else, and so maybe – but you could be playing good in the preseason. You might not do well against Michael Thomas is my point.
True. No, you're not wrong.
You know?
You're not wrong. So it's interesting. I was looking through, defensive stats in terms of preseason where the Jaguars fall in. Well, apparently CBSSports.com doesn't care about defensive stats because there's only sacks, and the Jaguars are pretty close to the bottom. Care to take a guess, though, where the Jacksonville Jaguars rank in terms of passing yards per game?
Oof, I mean, they gave up three.
No, I'm sorry. In terms of offense, though.
Oh,
their offense.
Their offense.
Passing yards a game.
Believe it or not, most people won't realize this, but they passed for 367 yards against the Saints. So they probably, if Beathard's number one on that list, I bet they are sixth.
First.
One.
They are one in terms of passing yards per game. Now, this is a crazy stat. Number 2 is New Orleans. Okay. Good offense. Number 3 is Cleveland. Good offense.
Played the Jags.
4 is Indianapolis. 5 Pittsburgh. 6 Kansas City. Pretty good teams to be compared of. Now, do you want to, I'm just saying, if you want to overreact in terms of stats and everything, that's a good one to overreact for the positive. Unfortunately, it's more C.J. Beathard than it is Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. That is pretty wild, though. You talk about preseason. C.J. Beathard leads in quarterback rating. They lead in pass offense.
Yes.
By the way, I hope Beathard doesn't lead in quarterback rating in the year. But if the Jags lead in pass offense this year, or top 5,
let's go and sign Urban that lifetime contract.
Right?
So go and sign Urban that lifetime contract right now.
Yeah, that would make you feel good about Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Here's what doesn't make you feel good about Trevor Lawrence. And this goes back to our conversation this week. Today, it's a little bit of a national narrative at times, which I think is overblown and foolish and dumb, about him starting. It's the health of the offensive line, how good the offensive line is. A lot of folks around the country are saying, hey, I wouldn't even start him because this offensive line isn't good enough.
Yeah.
Well, I don't believe that. I think that's a dumb reason not to start him. And I also don't think the offensive line's that bad. This week, though, do you consider not starting him because the offensive line isn't there? It's not there. You're not going to have 4 offensive linemen. This in just about the last half hour. A.J. Cann goes on the COVID-19 list, so now he's not going to play on Sunday. You're already not going to have Linder, Norwell, or Cam Robinson, it looks like. Play one of your starting tackles and maybe the guy that's struggling the most in Jawan Taylor at times.
So
keep your fingers crossed. We talked about it already. Game plan. Don't let him sit back there with the ball. But, I mean, do you consider just not playing him?
So, man, and every coaching philosophy is different here, I feel like, of how they handle preseason. We see it with some teams playing the ones, in this game, the game number 3, maybe a quarter or even a half. And some teams, the first team hasn't even touched the field, it seems like. To me, when you have a young team, especially a young quarterback, you have to get them acclimated. You have to. That's, to me, priority number 1 of these preseason games. It's the ultimate dress rehearsal. There's only so much that you can do in practice. In terms of adrenaline and in terms of how you prepare, it's just different for a preseason game than it is in practice. Now, obviously, that gets amplified once again once the regular season starts. At the same time, though, and to me, this actually comes second than more than first. It comes second where you got to take care of your guys, right? You have to make sure everyone's healthy going into the regular season. But I always come from the philosophy of you have to get guys their reps to make sure they're healthy. You can never, to me, you can't think about injuries. Right, with the national media saying, "Well, don't start in week 1 against Houston."
I agree with that
because who thinks that way?
Yeah, you can't.
Like who thinks? You know what? I'm so because if that's the way that it is, if you set yourself up for where I'm worried about my quarterback, well, then maybe you shouldn't be evaluating talent in terms of offensive line. Like if it's gotten to the point where it's like I'm worried about dragging my starting quarterback out there because he might get hurt, I feel like you're in the wrong business.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Although I will say, just not to be hypocritical. I do think if you have the choice to play with the 1s and the 2s with your starting quarterback like they did in the preseason, I think it was the right move to play Trevor early so he plays with the so-called better players, right? Your first-team guys, because you're just going to open yourself up to criticism if he does get an injury of any kind that you left him in there with the backup guys. Now, Urban might be kind of, in hindsight, if something were to happen to Trevor, he could be criticized for the same this week. But I think a lot of people around town, I think the fan base, I think most people in the building, I think most people across the board are like, hey, you haven't looked that good. You got to get something going. You don't have to stay in there for 3 quarters. We get it. But you got to you got to have some semblance of success and rhythm and all those things that you want going into the year. That is worth a little bit of the risk. But I will say this now. If you want them to design something that they think is going to be effective because – hey, this might work and give them the confidence and look like a rhythm. Well, they're probably not going to. You thought maybe they were vanilla in week 1 or even week 2. I think they go back to being super vanilla against Dallas because they're not going to sit them in the pocket and let them just sit back there. And you're right. They don't even have guys on the outside. Right? Yeah. So we'll see if this hurts Trevor in terms of some early development. The fact that his offensive line isn't in. His receivers aren't in. He loses Travis Etienne. But in the moment, they still think, hey, we're going to play Trevor for a couple series, and hopefully he does some good things, and we get him out of there, give him some confidence. We look good, we feel good, and then we go on to the regular season. The good news about all this for the Jacksonville Jaguars is it feels like they'll have everybody outside of ETN back against Houston on September 12th. And let's not panic about some of these guys being hurt. That's the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to have everybody ready by week 1. You know, you'll give up a little small injury for a week and a half in August to have them ready for week 1. So I don't think there's anything outside of ETN that we've talked about all week that's like, oh, my gosh, the sky's falling. All these guys will play. The problem is how much continuity, how much feel, how much rhythm do they have with this group? That really hasn't all been in there for the last couple of weeks now.
Well, and then that's the biggest part, right? Is like, a broken hand isn't the end of the world, or I'm sorry, a broken finger isn't the end of the world for DJ Chark. But at the same time, this has been, 4 weeks or 5 weeks, whatever the case may be?
I would say a solid 3 weeks.
Okay,
so by the time they play
again,
it'll be like 5 weeks.
So you're talking about 5 weeks where, you haven't been able to run routes. I mean, you've ran routes, but you haven't been able to catch the football and get the timing down with Trevor Lawrence. And let's be honest, DJ Chark is going to be counted, I think, as their one receiver. So, that means something when you have a rookie quarterback. So, every football team has to go through things like this. It just stinks that when you have a rookie quarterback and it seems like the development is the most important thing right now for him, and he can't get the 100% development because, guys are out.
Hey, we got some high school football talk coming up as we get ready for a big night, the Friday Night Blitz and the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Don't forget, 9 o'clock right here on ESPN 690 and the video platforms. You like high school football, you're going to like this show. I promise you that. Kevin Sullivan will join us as an analyst, results and interviews. And then, of course, Friday Night Blitz, full half-hour show at 10:30 on Fox 30 and a quick blitz at 11:20 on CBS 47, Fox 30. So we got football at 5 coming up as well. We'll say who to watch. What do the Jags have to do against Dallas? And everything else going on in the world of sports coming up next on ESPN 690 to finish up a week here in Jacksonville.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
We made it to Friday, Jacksonville, and for the first time in 2021, the Blitz is on. I'm Casey Kurtz. The Friday Night Lights will be on for the first time in the regular season tonight, and the number one spot to see all the highlights, scores, and interviews is Action Sports Jax. Our coverage starts at 9, right here on ESPN 690 Radio for the Blitz Scoreboard Show with Brent Martineau. Then flip over to Fox 30 at 10:30 for the Friday Night Blitz with Brent Martineau and Stuart Weber. Then flip to CBS 47 at 11:15 for the Lightning edition of the Blitz. Nobody in Jacksonville has better high school coverage than Action Sports Jax. Before our Blitz coverage gets going, the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp are in action tonight with first pitch set for 7:05 from Norfolk as the Shrimp look to extend their winning streak to 5. That game can be heard on our Facebook page, ESPN 690 Jax. This Sports Center update sponsored by Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge.
Jeep climbing.
It's intercepted. Picked off of the 12. He will go down. He finds the promised land. Touchdown FSU.
This is your home for FSU football.
Outside the numbers to the 10. 5, 3, 2, 1. It's a touchdown, Florida State. Intercepted. Picked off of the 33-yard line. Noles win. Noles win.
Catch live coverage of the Seminoles all season long, right here on your home for Florida State football.
Sponsored by Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
When you think about Jacksonville, you think about a city that is surrounded by water. And being by water afforded Jacksonville to have one of the largest container ports in the entire country. And another fun fact that RV sales are at all-time high right now. But what does this all mean? What am I getting at? It means that there's high-paying jobs available for those that know the ins and outs of the marine side and of the land side of recreational vehicles. And this is where JTech comes into play. JTech offers a program where you can learn about the diagnostic procedures and effective repair methods of a variety of recreational vehicles, including motorhomes and RVs, power boats, jet skis, diesel and gasoline, outboard and inboards, and much more. And they also help prepare students to take the Yamaha certification exam, which is required in the Marine Maintenance Certification Program. To learn more about JTech, visit jtech.org or call them at 904-483-9460. Ask for Hank to set up an appointment to tour the campus or get your questions answered. That's 904-483-9460 or visit jtech.org.
Men, do you feel embarrassed in the bedroom because of ED or PE? Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution.
I'm Dr. Brown. 98% of patients experience a positive result from the treatment in just 10 minutes after just one office visit. Men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Call Prime Men's Medical Center at 904-664-8217. See results on your first visit guaranteed or pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
I remember my son was going to grow up without a father.
I didn't think someone at 23 could be diagnosed with breast cancer.
I was probably the healthiest I had been in my life.
Early detection of a melanoma saved my life.
I survived testicular cancer because of early detection.
I survived cancer not once but twice because of early detection.
During the pandemic, you may have delayed or canceled routine cancer screenings. It's time to get those appointments back on the books.
Early detection saves lives.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
If you're like me, you come home from work and walk through a messy garage hurdling shoes and bats and bikes. Well, get the easy garage solution that I got. It's called Easy Garage Solutions. One-of-a-kind monkey bar technology that will last a lifetime. Hang the bikes and the lawn equipment. Easy Garage Solutions. Shelving and overhead storage for boxes and bins. Easy Garage Solutions. Cabinets and flooring available too. Easy Garage Solutions. Find them at easygaragesolutions.com. Easy Garage Solutions. It's that easy.
Galaxy Builders, they're out of this world. Galaxy Builders, they're out of this world.
Attention residential roof repair technicians. Do you feel a lack of support from your boss or feel you're underpaid? If so, Galaxy Builders wants to interview you today. Galaxy Builders is hiring experienced roof repair technicians and offers a $5,000 signing bonus, 401k plan, and a fully outfitted company truck. Fill out the Contact Us form at galaxyfla.com to schedule an interview.
Mr. and Mrs. Flavor, thank you for joining us.
Great to be here. I'm Barry, the flavor of berry.
I'm Janet. I'm bitter.
And I understand your son is the flavor menthol?
Yes, he's the menthol in a menthol cigarette.
He's such a disappointment. Out there getting people addicted, being used by big tobacco to target black people. He could have been a lozenge.
Menthol cigarettes are harder to quit than regular cigarettes. Find out how to quit today at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2021 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
Hey everybody, it's Brett Morneau from Action Sports Jax. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690. Hey, welcome back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. It's a weird thing right now, you know. I'm rooting for the Yankees. No, I'm not really.
I beg your pardon?
No, I'm not. But it's actually not a bad thing if the Yankees win. They're playing the A's.
Okay.
And the Red Sox and A's are battling it out for the second wild card spot because the Yankees have. I mean, the Yankees aren't guaranteed to be in the wild card spot, but they certainly are
good shot
in a good chance here. So right now, I think it's a 2.5 game lead or 3 game lead, 2.5 game lead for the Sox over the A's.
Okay.
So like the Sox won last night, the A's lost. That helped them.
Sure.
So if the Yankees do well in this series and keep winning, plus there's a little part of me that maybe the Yankees will just like keep winning, and they peak like now. And so, therefore, in like the last couple weeks of the regular season and postseason, they'll tank again.
Okay. Now, do you buy that narrative? Because I feel like that's not going to happen.
Well, I'm not afraid of the Yankees winning it all, if that's what you're asking me.
You don't think there's no way they can do that?
No.
Okay.
I think there are 7 teams.
You don't think they're getting hot
the
at the right time right now?
Well,
though?
they are hot, but I just think there's a
I feel like
difference
it's all
between
momentum, you know?
Difference between regular season hot and playoff hot.
Okay.
Some teams are built for the regular season. Some teams are built for the postseason. And I've said this, like I wouldn't think the Red Sox are going to do very well in the postseason, even though they did well in the first part of the baseball season.
Yeah.
I think you need closers. And their bullpen, you can't trust anybody in the Yankees bullpen right now. You can't trust anybody in the Red Sox bullpen either. But, you know, the Rays really don't have a closeout guy. I really like the White Sox the way they're built because I think their bullpen can be lights out good, depending on, you know, how they're pitching. So I would sign up for like the White Sox in the AL right now to really make some noise.
Yeah.
One, because they've been good all year anyway. They're one of the better teams. But I love their bullpen. I think that's where it's at in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just – it's not fair to me to talk about the bullpens when I root for the Milwaukee Brewers, you know, and you have 3 potential Cy Young winners on one team, and then they're the bullpen and Josh Hader and then the Airbender and Williams. It's not fair for me to comment on it. But I see where you're going with the White Sox.
But we could, under my theory, we could get the White Sox and the Brewers. They have the 2 best bullpens?
No.
Who's up there? I'm trying to think.
I mean, the White Sox have 2 dominant guys in the back end. They don't have the best bullpen.
Overall. So who's got the best pen overall?
Oh, Brent.
Probably the Brewers.
Okay, after that then.
Probably the Rays.
Without a closer, though. But they
seems to be working fine. They're the best team in the American League.
Like I tell you, there's a difference between a regular season baseball and a difference between postseason baseball.
I'm going to the team bullpen stats right now. I'll tell you what, it's not the Arizona Diamondbacks. Let's get them out of here.
There's a big. I'm just telling you all. There's a big difference between postseason baseball and regular season baseball.
The whole Action Sports Jax team could beat the Diamondbacks.
So I'll tell you what, right now, in terms of ERA, in terms of bullpen, the Rays are second right now.
That's what I just said.
You haven't mentioned the first place team.
Brewers?
No. Brewers are 8th, which, I mean, because they don't use the bullpen, because they have starters that go into like the 7th, 8th, but whatever.
We haven't mentioned it.
Yeah, you haven't mentioned them.
National League?
Are they good? Like the team?
Yes, they're good. Yes, National League.
Giants.
Nailed it.
So, see, that's where the Giants have been getting it done, too. So, the 2 best bullpens are the 2 of the best records in the league, right?
Yep,
Giants and Rays.
The 2 best records.
It goes San Fran, Tampa Bay, San Diego, the Dodgers, Yankees, Cleveland, Oakland, Milwaukee.
Yankees bullpen is that good of an ERA. That's interesting because it feels like they are.
Well, Chapman,
like, nobody wants them to close out a game in the ninth inning right now.
Well, Chapman's ERA for the first 3 months was 0.
Was good.
He's
really
been horrible this recently.
So. But then Britton asked out of that role.
Yeah,
I mean, he was so bad.
Yeah.
So
here's surprising: the Reds are they're third to last, and the Reds are like in playoff content. Well, they're trying to go to the playoffs. They're trying to make it happen.
I don't know what. I couldn't. You'd have to look up this metric, right?
Okay.
But most blown leads after 7 innings or 6 innings or whatever, I guarantee you the Reds are
up there.
If not first, they're like top 3.
Sure.
I can't even name a Reds reliever, and I watch a lot of baseball.
It's hard to name a lot of Reds players.
Well, I could do that. I just can't do the relievers. Like I physically have no idea who they're running out there.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
So no wonder they suck.
But they've been very good. Like they've just overachieved. They're good. They're a pretty good team, but they don't close them out.
Yeah. I think we're talking about the Reds too much on the show, but.
I don't know why you're so why are the Reds so far in your head?
Because
you got like an 8-game lead.
In my head, I tell you, they're not in my head. It's every single year with the Reds. This is the year they got the roster to do it. Going to win the division. No one's talking about them. It's going to be the sleeper. Going to be the dark horse. And every single year we're here.
Yeah, but every single year, what? They're in the playoffs right now.
I mean,
they're outperforming San Diego.
But teams people had them winning the division.
Oh, okay, but
for like the 3rd year in a row. And how has that gone for them? It's like, I'm tired of it. Tired of it, Brent. Same thing with the Padres. Supposed to be the Padres. Oh, Padres, best player in baseball. Guy's on the cover of MLB The Show. He's a good player. Great player. But how are the other Padres doing right now?
They're behind the Reds.
Are they winning the division? No.
This bullpen is brutal for the Reds, by the way. Justin Wilson, he's like 108 years old. Michael Givens couldn't even make it on the Orioles. Amir Garrett, it's just bad.
This is the segment now. We're just going to roast the Reds players every single day. I like this. Roast the Reds. Get a song going. Roast the Reds. Roast the Reds. Yeah, it's time to roast the Reds.
Hat I can bring in.
Yeah, let's do it.
You better hope my father-in-law isn't listening.
Yeah.
Sorry. He won't be listening very much anymore.
Sorry.
He'll probably agree that the Reds bullpen
He's like, you know what? Austin makes some good points.
Yeah, he would.
So I'm not talking about their position players.
Yep.
They got good ones.
Hey, the next Thanksgiving at the table, I'll tell you what, Brent, that Austin makes some pretty good points. Like, I don't like it, but dang it, do I respect him because he makes a valid point about my Reds.
Can't wait till Thanksgiving. We'll see what happens.
I can't wait.
At Thanksgiving, who would you put in the World Series right now out of the 2 leagues? Atlanta's playing well. Milwaukee's like a forgotten team because they've played so well. Chicago's played so well all year that nobody's talking about them.
Yeah.
You got the Dodgers. Padres are looking on the outside coming in. Giants have just been awesome all year. The Rays, nobody likes to talk about or go watch, but they've got the best record in the AL. And then there's sneaky Houston, who doesn't need trash cans, I guess, because they're in first in the AL West.
True. You know what?
There's a lot of sneaky teams because everybody wants to talk about the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Dodgers and the Padres. But there's a lot of sneaky teams right now.
I mean, do we go Rays Brewers, Casey, for a World Series?
Well, that'd be a ratings bonanza.
I mean, you know, the constant negativity. The constant negativity we got to deal with, man.
You know, you're trending in a right way, though.
I mean, you're right.
No,
but
seriously,
whatever.
you'd be trending in a right way. The Bucks, the Rays, the Lightning, and the Bucks.
Yeah. No,
I already said the Bucks, but I meant 2 different Bucks. One in Milwaukee and one in Tampa.
I'm just saying.
It comes in bunches.
If the Brewers somehow pull it off, win World Series, I'm going to be going for the Packers this year. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you right, because you got to complete the Trinity.
That's because they've locked you out of the pickle.
You got to go with the trifecta. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, you know, I don't talk about the Packers, whatever, you know. But I'm just saying, the Brewers win it, Brent. It's going to be ESPN Green Bay in here. Yeah. I'm just telling you.
So who was your World Series pick? You just asked the question and don't answer it.
Now I'm going to go late to break just because of that.
Yep.
I already told you. I said White Sox and Brewers.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Sorry, Rays. Maybe next year. Thanks, Brent.
How about you, Casey? Baseball guy?
Astros, Dodgers.
Really?
Again.
See,
I don't know how I feel about that.
I have the Dodgers, Yankees for my we did the preseason predictions. I have the Dodgers, Yankees.
Yeah, boy, that's
really
out on a limb there.
Okay.
So you're sticking with it. We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Football at 5. Let's go back to that game next.
At Tire Outlet, we're committed to providing our customers with professional and honest automotive recommendations. Don't believe us? Check out our reviews online and see why we're Jacksonville's preferred automotive shop.
Great guys to work with, always very helpful and affordable.
With 12 locations across Northeast Florida, Tire Outlet can help keep you and your family safe on the road, wherever you are.
Wholesale prices, premium service, Tire Outlet.
Back to school or back to work, you need a ride. And Honda The Avenues has the vehicles you want. Hi, it's Matt Ray. Go to HondaTheAvenues.com right now. Pick out your vehicle, build your payment, and value your trade. You can do it all right now from where you are, whether it's at home, work, or waiting in line for a coffee. You'll get the absolute top dollar for your trade. So whether you're shopping for a new or used ride, Honda The Avenues has the best selection and the best price. Plus, they're real easy to deal with and easy to find. South of 295 on Phillips Highway or at HondaTheAvenues.com.
Temperatures keep climbing and hotter weather means your body needs more water. Stay hydrated. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure the water you and your family drink is cleaner, healthier, and tastes great. It starts with the Connecticut system, proudly made in America and installed by the pros CGC Water. Not sure about your water? Call CGC. They'll analyze your water for free. I haven't had to worry about my water since I got mine installed because Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of the contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, non-electric twin tanks that use less salt and water during regeneration. Save up to $500 on select softener and RO systems this month. Financing available with approved credit. Call CGC Water at 904-552-1242. Call and ask about Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Tell them Brent sent you and find out all the details and all the great ways you can save. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Let's be honest. I'm in the AC business, and even I don't want to buy a new AC system. And yet, the only thing worse than spending money on a new AC is spending it and then not getting the comfort and performance you paid for. Whether it's not seeing the promised comfort or efficiency due to a sloppy install and bad ductwork, or having a home that still feels sticky from inadequate humidity control, or dealing with bad air quality, allergies, mold, or anything else. Investing in a new system to not get the comfort you paid for is total turd buckets. And that's why Griffin Service offers a 12-month test drive on all Florida-rated AC systems. If you're not thrilled with your increased comfort and efficiency, we'll uninstall the system and refund you 100% of your money. And that's for up to 12 months. Install the system now, and you'll still be covered next summer. It's only fair. So, if you need a new system, buy it from the company that'll guarantee you the performance and comfort you're paying for at
GriffinService.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Championship game and such ruin your chance at the playoffs. I mean, we still have to treat the college football season like every game matters, and that means having new quarterbacks could make a difference. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Jason Fitz.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Another NBA trade today. This one a 3-team deal. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports Lauri Markkanen will join the Cavaliers on a sign and trade for 4 years and $67 million. The Bulls get Derek Jones Jr. and a first-round pick, and the Trailblazers will get Larry Nance Jr. Markkanen averaged 14 points and 5 rebounds for the Bulls last season. Our Adam Schefter reports Jameis Winston will be the opening day quarterback for the Saints. He'll need to focus on ball security, says ESPN's Dan Graziano. He's in that program. He certainly had Sean Payton in his ear enough to know the importance of playing it safe when the situation calls for it. So, and he has Alvin Kamara. I mean, you can't underestimate the importance of this. Dan Graziano on Greeny. Second round of the BMW Championship in Maryland today. Bryson DeChambeau shoots 60 to take the lead at 16 under. He missed a 6-foot birdie putt at 18 for a 59. He's one ahead of Patrick Cantlay.
Download the DraftKings app and use code CJR to get a free shot at millions of dollars up for grabs this week with your first deposit. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Well, I think it's all relative to how that person fits into the big picture. They play in special teams. Do they have a role on defense? They have to do those things. I mean, if we keep anybody, I know speaking defensively over the years, okay, what's their value on special teams? I'm talking about as the bottom of the roster. You got to be great on special teams, and they have to have a role. And a lot of times when you talk about different personnel groupings like the dime, you'd like a faster guy. Like nickel is two backers. You know, dime is you bring in another DB like a Rudy Ford or Cisco or someone like that.
That's Joe Cullen, Jaguars offensive coordinator. I was thinking of this. Who's the surprise guy that's going to make the team? And people are going to be like, really? I know who it is right off the rip.
Really? You don't think it's going to be Taven?
No, because I think Taven has a chance to make the team.
Okay.
I don't know if that would be, like, stunning.
I think it'd be a little surprising. You said it's obvious, huh?
I think they'll be like, really, he's on the team again? Or he's still on the team?
I mean, I'm not Tyler Shatley, but it's not. No, for sure. I think he's earned that spot. I don't know, man. What are you talking about?
Andrew Wingard.
Yeah, I got you.
Wouldn't that be the reaction?
Yes, I would say it would because, I'm not going to say it's not his fault, but it is his fault. You know, when you have hair like that, and you know, let's be honest, you don't look like every other safety in the NFL. So you already stick out, and then when you stick out sometimes maybe for some bad reasons of a 1-15 season last year, people remember you.
He's an interesting cat in the sense that, like, he's just kind of I don't know why people wouldn't like Andrew Wingard or anything like that. It's not that they don't like him, but they kind of annoyed by the celebration stuff at times. They think, like, he's giving up stuff. He kind of resembles, like, hey, we have a bad roster if this guy's playing back in the back end, right? Mm-hmm. Well, that's not why he'd make the team. He obviously is a really good special teams player.
Yes.
Because that's been regime after regime now, if he does make the team. Mm-hmm. And I think they like him on special teams. I mean, I think he's just whatever that looks like. I couldn't tell you what that looks like on tape. Mm-hmm. That stands out.
Yeah.
Because I don't really remember him making a ton of plays on special teams to begin with. But whatever he does must do his job pretty well. And I think that would be the pick, though. I think if Andrew Wingard makes – I'm not saying he's going to make the team either. I don't know. But I think there's a chance he does. And if he does, it almost doesn't it kind of feel like to the fan base it represents like the 1-15. Like Wingard, again, This is no fault of his own, no disrespect to him, but for whatever reason, even the Taven Bryans and the Wingards represent 1-15 in a weird way. It's kind of like I wonder why we went 1-15. We have these guys on the team, you know.
Yeah.
And more so, like nobody's saying that about Josh Allen, nobody's saying that about James Robinson. And I really don't even think they're
Jared
saying
Wilson.
that much about the offensive line, even though they never like the offensive line.
Sure.
Jared Wilson, those guys. I don't think they're saying that about those kind of players, but for some reason, Wingard and I think a guy like Taven Bryan kind of represent the missteps of the past, the lack of depth on the roster in the past, the 1-15 kind of seasons. And so for them to make this team would be like, to the fan, I think it would be like, really? He did what?
No,
you know?
you're not wrong there. And it is a good call with just like, you know, being reminded of the past a little bit. I think it's a good comparison. I agree with that.
Yeah, I really don't understand completely why the fan base doesn't. Again, this sounds weird to say doesn't like. It doesn't like as a player, Wingard. Like why he kind of annoys them a little bit.
Because
what's the one celebration time?
But he stood up for all the wrong reasons. I mean, and he made some plays last year. I mean, I remember a couple plays that he made, but, you know, usually it would be like, oh, why are you celebrating?
Well, that's it, right? You're down like 30.
And
why
are you celebrating?
That's that guy,
Yeah, or like, oh, man, he just gave up a long touchdown pass. Or like, where was he on that play? Or he was like, you know, he was in the wrong coverage. Like, I feel like those conversations came up more than a lot of players on this team.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right, hey, let's go. 3 players to watch.
Yeah.
And by the way, it'll be interesting to see if some of these guys, we don't know who's playing.
Yeah.
All right. I was in a production meeting today, and I still don't know exactly who's playing. Like, they get an idea, but you don't really know. I mean, they could hold some guys out on Sunday. The news in today, if you just joined us, Football at 5 here on ESPN 690, A.J. Cann goes on the reserve COVID list. This is going to be an offense that does not have a majority of its starters, the guys that are going to be out there on September 12th. Of course, Etienne gets hurt, but I'm not even including him because he's not really a starter per se. But Marvin Jones, DJ Chark, the entire line up until Jawan Taylor. Jawan Taylor's the only guy going to play most likely, it looks like, on Sunday. Who knows about James O'Shaughnessy? I think James Robinson will go. Trevor's going to go. So that gives you a sense like, okay, that limits who you really want to see on offense.
Yeah.
And then defensively, I think he will hold guys like Miles Jack out. Maybe a guy like Malcolm Brown, a veteran player they traded for from the Saints. Maybe hold him out. Who knows, back Rayshon Jenkins and even a Shaq Griffin. I don't know. I mean, they might not play. So you got to think about that. 3 players to watch. Who are you looking at?
Oh, or is this on three players total or 3 on offense, 3 on defense?
I think for this exercise, we better be total.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We might get down to Ben Ellefson.
For sure. So with all due respect to Ben Ellefson, are we going back and forth?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. First player to watch, it's actually players, but like it kind of goes hand in hand. I'm watching Colin Johnson. I'm watching Colin Johnson and Laquan Treadwell because I feel like that is going to be the battle at wide receiver, and I feel like whoever has the better game or if somebody really stands out could cement themselves on this roster.
All right. My first guy is a guy we've talked about. I think it's the most important game maybe of Taven Bryan's career.
Sure.
I mean, it really could be. This might be it in Jacksonville. Can he put some good tape out there? Can he make this team and change his career around? We thought he would need to do that the entire month of August. Problem is he's really only had a chance to do it the last 7 to 10 days. And so I think it's a big game for Taven Bryan. Does that mean just be steady and make regular plays, or does he need a splash play to impress the coaching staff? Keep an eye on Taven Bryan.
I got to watch Jawan Taylor. It looks like he's regressed a little bit in this preseason. More than likely, he'll be going against a bunch of guys that are back end on the depth chart, so that should be good for him in terms of getting his confidence. But if you can at least, hold your own against maybe 2s and 3s, then you could be worried about going into the season. So I think Jawan Taylor's got to have a pretty solid game to gain confidence back with the fan base.
Hey, I think it's Josh Lambo.
That was going to be my third guy.
That's okay.
But no, I mean, we're on the same page.
Yeah,
though.
we're gonna expand on that conversation in just a moment. But Josh Lambo, who's just not looked good, folks. It's not. There's some concern there. Okay, in the spring it was, hey, there might be a competition brewing. Wink, wink. Is it really a competition? Well, fan base like, you're out of your mind, Brent, for tweeting that. It's not a competition. That's Josh Lambo.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I was pretty mean to you as well.
Lambo-matic.
Yeah.
Well, not the case. I mean, he really has not had a great camp. He's been very inconsistent at practice and in games. And we're not even talking like just 55-yard kind of attempts. We're talking about from between 40 and 50. Is there some concern there? So this could be a big game for Lambo to quiet the concern. I feel like he's their kicker to start no matter what. But I do think if he struggles again, you're talking about competition coming in, and it's just something you don't want to have to deal with if you're the Jags. You got enough to deal with. You got a 1-15 roster and team coming back. That guy's someone you're not supposed to have to worry about, right?
Yeah.
And right now they do.
So the third guy that I'm watching is Gardner Minshew, because you still get the sense that regardless of what he's looked like this preseason, he's still the backup quarterback right now. And that's regardless of the fact that C.J. Beathard has been playing out of his mind, has the best quarterback rating of the preseason. I still think it's Gardner Minshew's job to lose as a backup, so I'm going to be watching to see if he can put together a solid game, or is C.J. Beathard going to have another game where you almost can't deny him anymore? It's like, we have to find this guy a roster spot.
All right, here's a guy to keep an eye on that nobody really talks about to make this football team. It's number 49. Can you name who number 49 is? Chappelle Russell.
Okay.
That's a guy that they like, I think. For the last few weeks, been hearing his name mentioned.
Okay.
Special teams, linebacker depth. Is he good enough to make the team? He almost had the pick the other day.
No, I remember that.
Remember?
Yeah.
That's like where he almost made like the splash play on defense.
Yeah. Definitely change your number, though, huh?
Yeah, 49. By the way, he's already changed his name.
Huh.
I read on him, I think his name was Chappelle Cook.
Okay.
And forget exactly why. Now I gotta have to go back and look it up. But Chappelle Cook, I think a couple years ago, changed his name to Chappelle Russell. But I'm telling you, there's some competition. I've told you now for a couple weeks. There's been competition at that linebacker spot. It's one of the things that let them get rid of Joe Schobert because they like these guys in the back, like Dakota Allen and Shaq Quarterman and this guy, Chappelle Russell. So keep an eye on really a trio of guys, Dakota Allen, Russell, and Quarterman. Like, who works in to be a backup? What do they do on special teams? Does somebody make a play that it wins them a spot on the team? Might be a nice story developing at their linebacker spot.
I like it.
So there's 6 guys or so to keep an eye on coming into this game. And, again, you got those frontline players. I think a lot of them will be on the sidelines for the most part. So you got to kind of bring that into the equation. But let's go back to Lambeau for a second. How surprising is this in Jacksonville that we're even talking about this after what was it? He missed like 1 kick in 2 years.
Yeah.
In a Jags uniform. Wasn't it like 1 kick?
I think so. Yeah. Man, the kick, it's like when it goes bad, it seems like it lingers with you. And that's what's going on with Josh Lambeau right now. I think it's, you have to have a conversation of, did he ever really fully recover from, it was a hip injury, correct?
Yeah, he had a couple of injuries last year, and I'm telling you, man, I have not heard this, all right? And sometimes you hear some things, and you kind of like, all right, well, maybe that makes sense, and that's not the case on this. I have not heard it, but that's my theory a little bit, is he fully recovered? Did that change something in his mechanics? Is that still an issue from a confidence standpoint? Like, does he just not feel like he can do the things that he did, or is he just not letting it go? Did it mess with his mind a little? I mean, that's that kind of position.
Yeah.
It's a mechanic and mental position. And did something go awry there when he got hurt basically twice last year? And at one time it was the hip. I think it was both times it ended up kind of coming back to the hip. I think the groin might have been associated there too. But he missed a lot of last year. And is it kind of playing off that injury? That's why he's struggling right now. I think it's a fair curiosity, although we just don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely a legitimate question, and you got to ask yourself.
I don't think he's hurt. Sorry to interrupt, but I don't think he's hurt. I just wonder about the bounce back from being hurt.
No, sure. And I think, like Lambeau, when he's been healthy, and obviously last season that wasn't the case, but the prior years, that was always kind of a sure thing. It was something you could fall back on a little bit. If you're in a close game, you need a kick, Lambeau's got it. He's automatic. And so far this preseason, that's anything but the case. And that can be important, obviously, in close games. So, I think if Lambeau has another bad preseason game here, I think if he misses even a chip shot or a close one, we're going to be talking about a competition, or at least maybe going another direction. Because that's the thing with field goal kicking. It doesn't matter, the equity that you built up. I feel like year in, year out, if you don't have it anymore, they're going to find a way to replace you. I feel like even Adam Vinatieri, they maybe held on for too long.
They did.
But
they did.
That's what he built up, though. And
yeah, he built up so much equity.
Lambeau is he's not on that level quite yet.
All right, so let's go back and look at what Lambeau has done, okay, as a Jag. Now, he only played 4 games last year, and he was 5 for 5 in kicks, okay? Year prior, he was 33 of 34 in kicks. 33 of 34, 97%. Year prior to that in Jacksonville, in 18, he was 19 for 21. Year prior to that in 17, 19 of 20. So he's been 19 of 20, 19 of 21, and 33 of 34. And then 5 of 5. He's missed 3 kicks. No, that's not good math. 4 kicks. He's missed 4 kicks in his career in a Jaguars uniform. I'm talking field goals. He's missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra points, actually. Isn't that wild?
Jeez.
Isn't that a wild thing?
Yeah.
They missed 6 extra points and only 4 field goals. But this guy has been so automatic for the Jags. He's been so good, and it just has not been that way for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I'll give you 2 things why this is a major concern. One, they went through 6 kickers last year. Like, it was embarrassing.
It was a nightmare.
It was about as big a nightmare as anybody's ever had in field goal kicking.
There's like some other stuff going on where it was just one of the many things that you could complain about, but like any other team that's happening to, it's like you're cursed on that position.
In reality, Austin, for a 1-15 team, it was actually like the number. It was like the headline. It was like, you're this bad if, right?
Yeah.
And they were this bad because Well, in part, they had 6 different kickers. Who does that, you know? And, and here's my other thing. I don't think you go find people off the street that can solidify the position. I understand there are a lot of kickers out there, and they've brought some guys in before, but it's like the McLaughlin guy, Shane, I think Shane McLaughlin. He just signed with somebody. He was one of the guys that were in here, came over from Minnesota, and he was here last year for a bit. He just signed because somebody else is hurt. I don't even know where. Aldrich Rosas, who's been in here in and out a little bit last year, this year. They liked him. He just was kicking for New Orleans this weekend. So it's a retread kind of situation. It's not like, oh, yeah, we got 4 of these guys sitting out there waiting to come in, and they got all great legs. I mean, it's just not the case. I think it's important for Josh Lambo to be good for them.
Yeah.
They have enough things to worry about. They have a good punter, really good punter. You think they have a really, really good kicker. And if that doesn't play out, then things start to go awry. I've already said, near the top of the list, if I'm Urban Meyer in that building and I'm looking at this preseason, near the top of the list of my concerns has been special teams because I invested in it. I thought I had a guy that had missed 4 kicks in his career in Jacksonville, and he hasn't been too hot. I've been penalties on on special teams, on kickoffs and punt returns. Like, to me, special teams has been really bad in these first couple of preseason games.
Yeah.
And it's not trending in a good way. So this is the most I've ever talked about special teams probably.
Yeah.
And you understand the importance, but when you're really good, special teams becomes very important late in the season.
Sure.
Right? In critical games, in close games, in big games. When you're not good, special teams is big because it can give you a little bit of an edge. And that's where we thought the Jags were maybe a little bit last year before they got all the kickers hurt. And that's where we think the Jags are with their specialists and Cook and Lambo on paper. But if it doesn't add up that way, that really hurts a team that's not very good because now you're losing a game because of a missed 38-yard field goal, even though you put yourselves in position to do so.
Yeah, it hurts your team and it hurts your optimism about how you feel about this franchise going forward because, like we mentioned, I mean, your punter and your kicker, when they're healthy, if they're on the field, they've always been a constant of, consistency. If you lose that with Josh Lambo, then it's like, oh, here we never had to think, oh man, Lambo's out there. I wonder if he's going to make it or not. Well, we're getting to that point now. And that's not a good feeling to have, especially if you're going to be in a close game down the line. So, yeah, it's not a good feeling to have, especially after, you've had so many losing seasons where he's been so great, but you couldn't appreciate it because why? You're losing so much. And now maybe things can finally turn around and now he's on the back nine. It's just like, yeah, it's another thing that makes you a little stressed in this preseason.
Well, yeah, here we are on August 7th?
Yeah.
Before the final preseason game on Sunday, coming up at 1 o'clock. And we're talking about the kicker, and that wasn't part of the script all offseason or going into the camp or anything else. If we were talking about the secondary, well, that wouldn't have been a surprise. Yeah. You won't be surprised about talking about bad things. You won't be surprised about talking about good things,
Sure.
When you're coming off a 1-15 year. And this has been a little eye-popping now. The missed kicks, the inconsistencies. Let's hope Lambo goes out, gets it done, gets some confidence going into the – we talk about the offensive confidence. I don't care who you are. If you're starting to miss kicks, Lambo, as good as he's been, I bet the confidence is off a little bit. And he's got to go find it, too, and maybe Sunday he finds a little bit of that. Hey, let's find a fishing report right now. Florida Sportsman Fishing Report brought to you by, Captain Rick Riles. That's who it's brought to you by.
Feel free to throw in there that it's brought to you by Workman's Quick Fix Plumbing.
I was there for you.
Brent and Austin, too. What's been your biggest surprise so far in the preseason?
Oh, surprise. That's a good question. Probably the surprise of the preseason was just how many reps in the first team Gardner Minshew got and practice and everything. I have no problem with the competition going as long as it did, but as many reps as he got for as long as he did was a bit surprising, especially since they brought in a $5 million backup quarterback.
For me, I would think it's the same thing that surprised Urban Meyer of just kind of how vanilla and just not really on point is this offense right now.
Yeah, I'm with Austin. I expected a much better offense. I didn't necessarily expect or care if we won the first 2 games, but man, if you'd have told me the ones against the ones, it was going to be 31-3 after 2 games, I wouldn't have signed on for that. That's for darn sure. But let's talk a little fishing. Now, it's not going to be a lot of fishing because the ocean is closed. We have got a strong easterly flow right now. The waves are big and the seas are nasty, so most of the boys have been staying home, but not inshore. Inshore continues to shine with what has been one of the best mangrove snapper seasons we've had in a long time. David Voorhees yesterday limited on mangrove snappers, had a couple of big reds, had a red in the slot and 4 or 5 flounders. So what he's doing, he is fishing the deep drop-offs of the intercoastal. When the intercoastal rolls into the channel, that's where he's finding an awful lot of fish, particularly on high tide. Now, last evening I was out in my kayak in the low tide waters, good and shallow back in Hannah Mills. Saw a lot of reds, had them right next to the boat. They would not eat. So that happens sometimes, but it looks to me like it's going to be all inshore this weekend. But there's one thing you can count on. We'll be back on Monday to fill you in on what's happened, brought to you by Workman's Quick Fix Plumbing.
All right, Rick, have a good weekend, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Don.
All right, let's check out Florida Sportsman Fishing Report each and every day. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. And make sure you catch Captain Rick in the morning for 2 hours, 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning on ESPN 690. By the way, speaking of the ocean and the waters, and you see this Hurricane Ida, I think that's Ida. I would assume that's the pronunciation. Sorry, haven't been listening during my sportscast. But it's IDA, right? You couldn't pronounce that any other way. Ida.
I would say Ida. Yeah.
This thing is heating up now. I've been watching this slowly. It's going to go right after New Orleans. Category 4, 140 miles an hour, 1 o'clock on Sunday. They moved the Arizona-New Orleans game up. I'm starting to wonder now if they cancel it. Yeah. It's a good thing the Jags aren't playing there. I mean, just from a logistical standpoint, this Monday instead of last Monday. And even, I don't think it's going to get into Texas, so it shouldn't be a problem for the Jags game. But, well, we remember hurricanes. We know hurricanes in New Orleans. That could get dicey there for everybody in New Orleans because it's looking at the current track. Sunday at 1, Category 4, which is 140 miles an hour winds, and it's like smack dab right at New Orleans right now. So we'll keep an eye on that. You can keep an eye on that with First Alert Weather Team on CBS 47 and Fox 30, and also on 104.5 WOKV. We want to take a break. We come back, more football at 5, a little high school chatter as well on the first real football Friday night of the fall in 2021. It's next on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Tracking a few showers through the day, moving inland with time, a rumble of thunder as well, but a lot of dry times too. Highs will be in the upper 80s to near 90, mid-80s at the coast. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where for a limited time, get 0% financing for 5 years, only at Beard's Diamonds.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity. The future of college football is now, and our primary goal is to position the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl and Jacksonville to be prepared for a potential college football expansion. And we need you, our local business leaders, to join our team and showcase that Jacksonville supports college football. Gator Bowl Sports has opportunities for all companies, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. I would love to meet you and talk about our future. If you'd like to learn more, contact me at 904-798-1700.
Hello, you have reached the Crooks R Us Training Helpline. Today, we're discussing the differences between a Safe Touch security system and a do-it-yourself security system.
One's professionally installed and monitored, while the other one comes in a box.
Well, yeah, there's that. As you know, houses with Safe Touch security systems are strictly off-limits to us crooks, for many reasons.
Professional installation and monitoring among them.
Correct. And by contrast, alarm systems that come in a box with do-it-yourself installation are a crook's best friend.
Plus, they have DIY monitoring. No comparison to Safe Touch's two-way communicator.
Excellent point. So to sum up, as crooks, you'll want to avoid any house with Safe Touch security. And tell your loved ones if they're going to buy something that comes in a box, just make it cornflakes.
Only one security system is truly the best. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
I love football and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Mortno. We are a lot alike, right? You love football and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax. Jacks, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, french fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, french fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts: jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper. So many flavors to choose from. And, of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wing Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wing Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks. If you're like me, you come home from work and walk through a messy garage hurdling shoes and bats and bikes. Well, get the Easy Garage solution that I got. It's called Easy Garage Solutions. One-of-a-kind monkey bar technology that will last a lifetime. Hang the bikes and the lawn equipment. Easy Garage Solutions. Shelving and overhead storage for boxes and bins. Easy Garage Solutions. Cabinets and flooring available too. Easy Garage Solutions. Find them at EasyGarageSolutions.com. Easy Garage Solutions. It's that easy.
Currently, Encore Borland-Groover Clinical Research, EBGCR, has a new clinical trial with Dr. Pino and Dr. Annie Lancani of Borland-Groover for patients diagnosed with eosinophilic disease or individuals experiencing weekly unresolved chronic IBS with symptoms including bloating, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, cramping, abdominal pain, and other persistent GI concerns. Studies are currently ongoing across Jacksonville and St. Augustine, and you may be eligible to participate in a clinical study. To learn more, call 904-680-0871 or ebgcr.com/contact.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Goodyear believes in the power of moving forward. No matter if it's on the track, the court, or the field, movement makes us want to be more. It pushes us to go further, to show the world what we can do. Movement has the unique ability to change our perspective, to challenge us, to work for a better tomorrow. Movement can even bring us together when we're still. Because if we're focused on the next move, we don't have to worry about what's behind us. Goodyear, more driven.
Are you a recent high school graduate who hasn't made up their mind about what they want to do for their career? Or possibly you're already working, but you're stuck in a dead-end job? If so, then I'm here to tell you about JTech. JTech is a local school that offers hands-on essential career training. Have you heard about the massive increase in online ordering since the pandemic started? That means that more people are needed who can service diesel trucks. Diesel technology is an important part of the transportation industry, and qualified diesel technicians play a huge role in keeping that industry moving. At JTech, they're helping to meet the demand for skilled diesel technicians by offering a 91 credit hour ASE-based diesel technology program. This program is going to help you give you the hands-on skills and confidence needed to launch a successful career in diesel technology. To learn more about JTech, visit jtech.org or call them at 904-483-9460. Ask for Hank to set up an appointment to tour the campus or get your questions answered. That's 904-483-9460 or visit jtech.org. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
Look, I think we all know what's at stake, and I talked about that a little bit the other day about perspective and how important that perspective is to focus on this season and enjoy. They jumped through some hoops to get on the cap this year. Obviously, the cap is expected to go back up next year, but you never know. So we're just going to enjoy this season. It's title town. It's championship or disappointment just about every year.
There you go, Aaron Rodgers. That's true, though.
Yeah.
Gosh, I hope we get to that point somewhere around here where it's like if you don't win the Super Bowl, you're mad.
Yeah. I mean, how about we try winning the division first?
How about like winning 6 games? It'd be ecstatic right now.
I feel like winning the division would be a good start.
You were just so excited, by the way, coming in from break. Like
I know.
This was like Raul's genuine excitement.
Back-to-back Austin Lanes?
Back-to-back Austin Lanes.
Man.
One on a commercial, one on a promo.
I know. It's
but way too much Brent Martineau sometimes in the commercials.
Well, no. I mean, it's fine if you're going back-to-back Brent Martineau. That's fine. I understand. We got to pay the bills somehow. And Brent's the moneymaker. It is what it is. I'm not mad at it.
I never said you were mad at it.
Yeah. I don't know what our audience feels about it, but it's all good.
It's hey, you know what happens tonight? The Blitz is on.
Nice. I was going to say SmackDown, but yes, the Blitz as well. Wait, that's not going to cut into SmackDown, is it?
No, it'll be after SmackDown.
Better be. Do you want some emails? I mean, I love high school football, but hey, do you want some emails?
You might get another email from Ronan.
You might. I'm just saying. Dude's killing it right now in his spelling, so just get ready.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good because we're having a little trouble in biology. All right?
Oh, yeah? Biology, huh? That's a rough one.
That
That's a
doesn't
rough
seem
one.
like it's going that hot.
It's like the third day of school.
I know. It's like, how do we know to be bad at biology? It's been like 7 days.
Let's not overreact here. It's the preseason still at school.
Hey, Mom's a teacher, man. There's a lot of overreacting going
on. All right,
on.
I got you. I'm just saying, you're still in the preseason. First week, that's a preseason of school.
No. We got to stay with that 6.32 GPA. You know,
like
whatever
that,
that is.
I mean, it's good, is what it is.
As I always say, there's two things I care about.
Yeah.
Ty,
yep.
I hope he has a higher batting average than GPA. And Kaylee, I hope she has a lower ERA than GPA.
I like it.
That's it.
And if
Mom
not,
can worry about the GPA, but that's what I'm worried about.
Well, and it's kind of like I always say, if a player gets in trouble in the NFL, does the talent outweigh the distraction?
Yeah.
Well, does the talent outweigh the GPA?
That's right.
Thankfully for me, it did. Thankfully for me. I'm sorry, all state offense and defense? Yeah, go and get the scholarship.
Good, yeah.
Go and get the scholarship.
What was your GPA?
Hey, check out these all-state accolades right here. Yeah, we're all good. Going with the GPA.
Let's bring in, what was GPA at Coach Kevin Sullivan back in the day? Did they even have GPAs? And definitely it wasn't over a 4 because you probably couldn't even get over a 4.
No, back then we didn't have anything over a 4. I was hoping just to be like a 2.5.
That's it. Qualify, baby. Qualify.
Where I was at. What was it back in the day? Get C's, get a degree.
C's, get degrees, man. Yep.
Not anymore.
No need to show off. Just stick right in the middle. I like it.
It is amazing, man. It's like you have to have like a 4.25 GPA just to get into a school.
People taking college classes, like the AP classes. Yeah.
And you don't.
No,
you don't need to do that like that. But there's a lot of emphasis on it. Coach Kevin Sullivan, how was the wedding, man? How was Cape Cod? Did you have some clam cakes, some chowder?
I had some chowder. I had to have some wicked pizza, right? Can I say that?
Yeah, you can. You just did.
No, it was good. The weather was great, man. Got out in the morning a little bit. It was nice. Yeah, it was a good time. Good to see some family that I haven't seen in a few years. But we're back in the heat and ready for Friday Night Lights.
Good for you. Kevin Sullivan with us, Hall of Famer in the state of Florida, former Jackson, Atlantic Coast, Ed White, high school football coach. He joins us as our analyst tonight on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. And, it's funny, you went to a wedding. You couldn't do this for most of your life. Not unlike right before the opening night of football.
No, there wouldn't have been no wedding going on. And but yeah, so I get to do that this year. And hopefully moving forward, some more travel and other things going on. But yeah, always excited, and we talked about this before, Brent, but this is like the first Friday night in like a long time that I'm not somewhere on the sideline associated with a team. A long time.
Yeah. It's weird, probably.
I mean, Coach, do you miss that, or is it kind of like a sense of relief?
Austin, it's a little bit, the camaraderie and stuff, and you can probably attest to that with the kids and being around the kids and watching them grow and hanging out with them and everything like that. But there's a lot of things I don't miss either, like the rain, number one.
Sure.
The rain, I don't miss that. So, but yeah, you're always going to miss the stuff. But, hey, good run. Like we've talked about in the past. It was a good run, a lot of fun, and, time to move on, do something different.
All right, we're really excited about this show. We're really excited for the second year, the Blitz Scoreboard Show comes up tonight, 9 o'clock. We're extending it till 10:30. That will lead right into our TV stuff. Coach is going to join us and be our analyst on the Blitz Scoreboard Show from 9 to 10:30. We'll have a lot of games to break down. I'll tell you, I think the schedules get better and better, and the reason for that, Coach, is probably because there are just more and more good teams. But we got some good ones tonight. Our game of the week on the Friday Night Blitz is going to be Sandalwood and Fletcher. And you talk about your Friday nights being different. Cedric Fason's Friday night is a little different. He's a first-time head coach at Fletcher High School.
Yeah, Theatric, he's from the beach down there, and he's sort of a legend down there in the beach. So he gets an opportunity to take over his program. And, there's nothing like alumni being able to take over their program because, they care and, they're bought in and they're in the community and everything. So that's a really good hire for them down there at the beach. So looking forward to him. And, he's going to grow. He's going to make mistakes. Everybody talks about getting the head coaching job, and then you get it. And then you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know you did that. I didn't know you did that. What do you mean? I got to get the chains out. I got to bring the chains out. Somebody got the chains? Did somebody get the footballs on the bus? That kind of stuff. So, yeah, it'll be a growing curve, but he's got some good coaches out there with him, and a good one for him to kick off with Sandalwood tonight. So that'll be a fun one for him. That's a big rival, and there's no love lost between those two teams.
No, not at all. That will be a good one. Your former team, one of your former teams, Atlantic Coast and Mandarin. That's a pretty good rivalry. Although Atlantic Coast, they're trying to get better and better on the football side to match what Mandarin has done. Is this the year they can do that?
Well, I think the momentum that Coach Monemeyer and them got last year in the playoffs, getting in and then winning those two big, huge games for him in the playoffs is just phenomenal for what he's done. And Monemeyer, he's been around. I hired him as a 21-year-old defense coordinator on our JV. He was still going to school at UNF. And he's been there, so that's one good thing about him. He's been through the good early goings on it, and I think he feels pretty good about them on defense. And then he just knows the offense, of course, losing Pat and losing Ridge from last year, the quarterback and the D1 wideout, and Ridge is at South Florida. So, they're going to be a little bit behind offensively, but it's a big rival, and they haven't. Atlantic Coast hasn't beaten them, and I want to say since somebody on the radio was the coach, but I don't want to say that too loud out there. But I hope for him. Yeah. So it's been. I got to believe. I think this is 5 years or 6 years they haven't beaten them since 14.
Yeah, that'll be something to watch. I'm going to give you easy ones here tonight, Coach, because your old stomping grounds have storylines. Coach Foy at Jackson, now a couple years in. And Jalen Saunier is one of the top quarterbacks in the area, but they have some talent now. How good can Jackson be this year?
Well, I think that he's done a really good job with the kids, and as far as the off the field, the respect factor, having pride in your school, living in the weight room, doing stuff as a group, as a team, it's really got a good feel. And that, one of the reasons why we went to hire him, and I wanted to hire him because he was an alumni, and he is invested, and he understands the chat.
We might have lost Coach. Might have lost him on his way back from the airport down. Oh, there he is.
He's back. Yep,
there he
back.
is. We got you.
Am I back?
You got you. We got you.
My thing went, but yeah. So he's got a lot of good similarities, but it's the overall program that he's trying to build with the kids in the classroom, on the field, off the field, and that's really made some good strides. And Jalen, I tell you what, and I've watched him, the last couple of years, and he's really made some really good strides, moving in the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield, not just taking off and running. And they've got a really good group of kids that are bought in. They've had a couple tragedies this offseason.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's another program in the state, maybe in the country, that's had two coaches die within a 4-month period. So that sort of brought those kids together and everything. So I know they can't wait to get on the field and get going.
Yeah, we'll talk more about Jackson and that part of the story later tonight on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Coach, we got a bunch of games tonight. Trinity Christian and Rains, Clay at Fleming Island, Riverside Parker, Providence Bishop Kenny got my eyes on, Bartram Trail, who recently had some tragedy themselves, hosts Rickards. And Tokoi Creek starts up for the first time, their first real game. So appreciate you joining us here on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Looking forward to tonight, man. We'll talk high school football for an hour and a half a little bit later.
All right, we'll see you all tonight.
All right, that's Coach Kevin Sullivan, Hall of Famer, knows the area very well, knows the football very well. It's going to be a fun show tonight. I always ask you this time of year, but it never gets old to me.
Yep.
I actually heard, did you see Phillip Rivers?
Yeah.
Did you see the reaction he had?
Dominated, by the way.
Yeah, won 49-0 in his debut in Alabama. But this is a guy who's played, obviously, for a long time in the NFL, talks about his NC State days, and he said probably 5 of his top 10 moments in his football career will come from high school.
Yeah.
Isn't that unbelievable perspective?
Wow.
Like
man.
that, you can go through all that. Like you.
Yeah.
You play at Murray State. You can play in the NFL with 4 different teams. And you remember some of your top moments come from high school.
Yeah. Well, because I've been asked to speak to a couple high school teams before, and I always say the same thing. And it's not that, and I say, like, I preface it by saying it's not to scare anybody, but your best moments will come from your high school career. It's just a fact. Like when you get to college, if you get to the pros, you're lucky enough, things change. Like people play for different reasons, all this stuff. High school football is the purest sport, or the purest form of the sport that there is.
Yeah, I agree.
Hands
That's
down.
why I like covering it, to be honest with you. There's just a genuine nature to it. And but all of that, 40 years later, most people are still in that area or come back to that area, so you still talk about those days at the watering hole.
Of course,
right?
yes,
You don't
man.
usually have a lot of reunions with your college buddies.
True.
Or with your pro buddies.
True.
But you do with your high school.
Especially from the small towns, man.
Yeah. So that, I think, also makes it a little bit special and different. But Blitz Scoreboard Show coming up tonight, 9 o'clock. Can't wait for it. It's a show like nobody else has in town. Hope you can join us. 9 o'clock tonight, ESPN 690 and all the different social media channels, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Make sure you watch it there to see some video. We'll be right back on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
We made it to Friday, Jacksonville, and for the first time in 2021, the Blitz is on. I'm Casey Kurtz. The Friday Night Lights will be on for the first time in the regular season tonight, and the number one spot to see all the highlights, scores, and interviews is Action Sports Jax. Our coverage starts at 9, right here on ESPN 690 Radio for the Blitz Scoreboard Show with Brent Martineau. Then flip over to Fox 30 at 10:30 for the Friday Night Blitz with Brent Martineau and Stuart Weber. Then flip to CBS 47 at 11:15 for the Lightning edition of the Blitz. Nobody in Jacksonville has better high school coverage than Action Sports.